morning, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a great time with their family. I am headed home from visiting my family, and I'm about to end my Thanksgiving break before I head back to work on Monday with a nice little trip to the mountains. I'm going to meet a buddy of mine, and we're going to see if we can't end it by going up and catching a few little brook trout and having a good time, spending the night on top of a mountain and catching a good sunrise in the morning. But stay tuned, as we will have more coming here very shortly. So I wasn't planning on doing this for this trip. I was planning on just hanging out, catching some fish, and enjoying the rest of the weekend, but thought maybe this was a good time to do this. I had some people ask, and I mentioned it in my last video, kind of talking about how I got started and where everything came from, and figured this was a good trip because where we're headed is kind of what I like to call my stomping grounds. It's what feels like home to me. Ultimately, fly fishing is where everything started for me. You know, I'd been taking photos and making videos my whole life, but fly fishing is really what started my professional career in this business. But we'll get more into that here in just a little bit. So I guess moving somewhere so flat, not being around hills or mountains or anything, and never seeing anything big because everything's just flat. Coming through the mountains, I guess at one point in time I took it for granted because everything looks absolutely just gigantic coming through here. It's just incredible. I guess at one point in time I was very dull to how big everything around me was, but these mountains, they just look huge right now, and I think it's from living somewhere where there's literally no hills. But I just love it here. This is one of my favorite places in the entire world. Love being in the mountains. Plus there's all kinds of water around, and it's all full of fish. That's all. All right, we made it. Brandon's here. What's up? We parked his truck up at the other parking lot, got my truck down here, and we're gonna do a little blue lining. And for those that don't know what that is looking at a map, you see blue lines, and that's rivers, and we're gonna follow the river, and we're gonna fish the whole way up. We'll get out, we'll go in his truck, and then by that point it'll probably be dark, and we will head up the mountain and go set up camp. But that is what's getting ready to happen here. Oh, I am standing on fly rods. All right, so we just hiked out here. We made an interesting little climb up, and that's it behind me. And we're fishing a few holes here. Brandon's working one right now, and no fish yet, but this is interesting. It's a whole new spot for me, new area of a spot for me, and we're gonna work our way up to the area that I know. Hopefully we catch some fish along the way. So the whole idea with filming this today was to kind of talk about how my career started, and that was through fly fishing. I mentioned in my last video, in my tutorial about the iPhone photography, that I made a short film, and that film is actually what jump-started my career and led to everything that I do today. And that short film was a fly fishing film, so I thought, hey, let's make a video while we're out here, and this will be my way of telling everybody a little bit about me and how I got started, while also showing the one thing that I love to absolutely do more than anything, which is come out here in the mountains and fly fish and catch fish. So that's kind of the purpose of today, is to have a good time and tell you all a little bit about myself and how I got started. I know for a fact if we go up, we can get them. Where we normally fish. It is quite the scramble to get through all this. But it's nice out here. So I did outdoor TV for about 4 years, and that was probably some of the best time of my life. You know, got to produce multiple different TV shows, travel around the world, been to multiple countries, and been to tons of different states in the United States. I have seen some of the most remote and beautiful places by doing what I did, and that all came from that film, you know, hunting southern Brookies and being up here in the mountains making a film with friends and not catching fish. Ultimately, that led me to 4 of the best years of my life and 4 of the most productive years of my life. All right, so we are struggling. It's funny because everything started really on this first fly fishing trip that I ever took, and it was where I met one of my now best friends.
It's often a mistaken photo.
So right here we've got a special kind of melon. It comes from the food lion, and this right here is the umbilical cord. And so when it splits from its mother, it's got some quite fascinating chemical reactions going on in there. And when it splits, it's just a little tiny little thing, a little couple of millimeters wide, and it grows into being this big melon. And it's actually called a watermelon. And why is it called a watermelon? Because it's 75% water.
I had probably one of the best times I've ever had. And I was just up here in the mountains fly fishing. I was spending time with 2 of my best friends and getting to know them even more, and we were learning how to fly fish, and it was just something that honestly was just a cool thing, because we started filming and we made a film about the fly fishing trip where we're not catching any fish similar to today, and we actually entered that film into a film festival and ended up winning that film festival, and ultimately that film festival was where everything started for me. This water looks absolutely amazing. Look at that. This whole place. Brandon don't really want to talk on camera, but we're gonna make him talk on camera here in just a minute. All right, Brandon, what's your opinion so far?
About what?
About all of this.
Beautiful spot. Fish ain't biting. That's all right, though.
If you couldn't hear him, he said, it's a beautiful spot. Fish ain't biting, but it's all right though. Brandon's hung up again. It's becoming kind of a thing for today. We're getting hung up in all this rhododendron trying to fly fish. It's not working out too well. Let's see what he says. You getting hung up quite a bit down there? What? He said he's not getting hung up, just at the end. I have video of him getting hung up like 3 times and me helping him out. All right, so we're kind of in a hurry at the moment. We've been fishing and we had the camera put up, but we actually almost caught one. And the sun is starting to go down. It's not gonna get dark for a little while, but we're losing the sun behind the mountain and we're down in this gorge and we're trying to get out. But this is just gnarly, rocks everywhere. We'll show you up here. Brandon actually stopped the fish. Come on. up here. I mean, this is just... Brandon, what do you think about your first time really blue lining?
It's a little tough. Nothing we can't handle though.
It's fun though, ain't it?
A lot of fun.
Quite a bit of elevation gain going up here. I think it's about to calm down though. It looks like. I've thought that once before. Nice little hole up here I'm gonna try. Woo! It don't look bad on camera, but that is not a good little climb right there. Okay, so I feel like maybe earlier I didn't explain quite exactly what I was talking about when I said fly fishing is ultimately what started my career, and that was really through the process of meeting my now two best friends. We took our first fly fishing trip. We were up here in the mountains like where we are today, trying to catch trout in the wintertime. It wasn't working, but we decided to make a film about it called Hunting Southern Brookies, because they're hard fish to find and you don't always come out here and catch them, and today it's showing us that, especially in the wintertime. But we made that film and we entered in a film festival and placed top 10, and that's where I got to meet people who worked in the outdoor industry with National Geographic, Discovery Channel. From there I was able to make those connections and discover something I didn't even know existed. I never planned on doing what I do today. I gotta figure out how to scale this. I'm gonna have to put the camera away. That's what I gotta figure out how to get up. I don't know how Brandon did it. I wasn't paying attention. This water's deep, it's cold, dangerous. We made it up. I don't know if you can see behind me. That was not an easy climb by any means. That was rough. I'm out of breath. A little scared. But then I come around a turn and I reveal this. Brandon, how do you feel about climbing that? How do you feel about climbing that?
Ain't no big deal.
I don't know how we're gonna climb that. We can't turn around and go back though. We're gonna run out of light. We thought the waterfall we just climbed was the waterfall on the map. That is the waterfall on the map. This is what happens when you explore new fishing spots. You don't fish, you explore. But we're gonna have to put the camera away definitely for this one. The camera is gonna stay packed until we get to the top of that. We really, if anybody out there wants to come film our next adventure, just shoot me a message and you're more than welcome. I'll get you all the gear you need. You're more than welcome to come film us, because it's hard to film myself and grapple a 200-foot straight waterfall. I didn't know I needed to be a rock climber too today. Good Lord, how well do you wade? How wade do you fish? There's two people out there that'll know what that means. Woo! All right, see you guys. Well, see you in a little bit. Brandon just told me he felt like somebody from a movie. I'm gonna let him tell you who it was.
You know, I feel like Sassy from Homeward Bound. It just, the wildlife just keeps throwing wrenches in our plans. But I got to channel my inner Sassy, balance my happy rear up this waterfall, and make it to the house. Come on, Shadow.
Yeah, I feel like Shadow. All right, so we made it out, and that was one of the toughest hikes I've had to do. And I said to Brandon, this reminds me of the first trip that I went on, which was the trip that we did the film. Seems like this is all coming full circle, because that was a tough hike. We tried to find a new place, and that's what we did in that first film, and it ended up kicking us in the butt a little bit. We didn't catch any fish because it was wintertime, and it's slow moving fish right now, and that was just a tough hike. We finally made it out. That was a huge elevation gain. We had to scale the side of the mountain. No trail, nothing like that. We finally found a trail. We're able to take that trail and get out and make it back to the area that we know. And now we've just driven up the mountain, and we're about to get our packs out, get everything loaded up and situated, and we're about to hike up this mountain and set up camp for the night and get a good sunrise in the morning before we do a little bit more fishing and finally head back. But anyway, stand by as we get ready. Whew, here we go. Well, we opted out of hiking up the mountain and we are camping close to the truck in the woods. And Brandon is using his Bear Grylls tool to try to start a fire with a flint when we have a lighter. Oh, he's got her. He's got her going. I gotta give you props here. Yeah. Who needs the big old Bic lighter when you got Brandon and his Bear Grylls flint? Watch this. Get gas. Get that. Son. And give this like up 1 minute and this 16 ounces of water will be boiling like crazy. Open package, tear notch, remove and discard oxygen absorber. Carefully add 1 1/3 cups, 11 ounces of boiling water. Alright, best by October of 2050. You think these are good for us? 13 ounces, 13 cups. Good morning, good morning. We have got camp packed up. We just wrapped all our stuff up, put it in the truck. Now I'm sitting in the truck kind of trying to warm up because it's chilly out. There goes Brandon. And we are about to take off, get back down, and fish a different part of the river that we were on yesterday, because we are not going to go where we were yesterday. That was not productive whatsoever. And then we'll talk a little bit more about this whole story. But anyway, we are headed out, and we're going to do a little bit of fishing again today before we head home. You know, just getting that B-roll. Alright, we made it to the water. I left my ND filter in the car again, so that kind of sucks. But this is the spot that I know we should be able to catch some fish. Brandon's making the first cast. Caught fish here 2 weekends ago, so hopefully the water hasn't gotten too cold and we can find him. Brandon just got hung up, now he's looking at me. Fishing in the mountains, there's a lot of doing this, which is sneaking around to get flies untangled. What? Here we go. Right there. And boom. He's free. really how I got started was found a job, I applied for it, I did the interview, and then I actually, in the interview, was asked if I'd ever hunted, and I told them yes. I told them I knew everything about it. They gave me the job. Well, that day I pretty much went out and bought everything I needed to learn to start hunting, and that's where I started learning to hunt. I'd fished forever but never hunted, and that was ultimately how that started. Now hunting is a big portion of my life. That came from doing outdoor TV, and you know, I told a little bit of a lie. I don't always suggest that, but you know, they do say fake it till you make it, and that ended up becoming a great opportunity for me. Spent 4 years there, and then have since just moved on. And you all see me wearing the sportsman stuff all the time, and the Sportsman Boats is actually who I work for now. But we'll get more into that later. We're gonna go try and scout some fish in this spot right over here. So let's go check it out. All right, Brandon's whistling at me, so that means he's probably got a fish. What? Oh shit. Okay, Brandon didn't get a fish, but he spooked a big one. Told me to stop. Where's he at?
I don't see him anymore.
Okay. Thought maybe he had one, but actually what happened was he saw a big one, bigger than he's ever seen before, which means it's bigger than I've ever seen before, because he caught on his first fly fishing trip the biggest one I've ever seen, and that's a southern Appalachian brook trout. And he says he just saw the biggest one he's ever seen, and we just can't get it to come out from under this rock. We're gonna come back to it though later on. We're just gonna continue fishing. Brandon, what's your theory on today?
My theory is that it's cold, it's wet, but we're fishing.
Hey, we're gonna catch one?
No.
Finally, as we were about to spool them up, go home for the day, this is what we're after. These little brook trout. There he is. All right. Well, you sure you're recording, Brandon?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, well, that is what we're after. We've been out here all day yesterday, and that's what we're going for. There he goes. They're little fish, but they're a blast to catch. They're hard to catch. They're super spooky, and I don't know, it's a lot of fun. We catch big fish at home all the time, but coming out here and catching these little guys is a lot of fun. So that right there may be about how we wrap this up, because here soon we're gonna have to head home, hit the road. We're gonna see if we can catch a few more, but yeah, finally got one. All right, I guess we found the right time of day. Brandon just whistled at me and he's got himself a fish. So I got one, he's got one, as we're about to spool him up and go home. So here we go, let's check it out. What about your fish here?
What you got here is your standard lunker, also known as a swamp donkey or monster.
Oh, look at him. That is a toad right there.
Hey, it's better than no fish, right?
Absolutely. Well, that is not the world's greatest and largest fish, but it is a fish, and the skunk is out of the boat now. So, all right, we're gonna tell him bye. And there he goes. Adios, little fella. Dove up under a rock. Boom, bada bing, right there. Well, Brandon got a fish, I got a fish. We've had a great weekend out here, and I figured I'd go ahead and kind of wrap up my story. But you know, I was talking about how I got into outdoor TV, and you know, I left outdoor TV actually almost a year ago, and that was to do something so I'd have more time with my family. I wanted to be able to go out and create stuff that I wanted to create, stuff like this, even though I'm not great at making a vlog. But you know, it gives me time to spend outside again, go out fishing with my friends, go hunting and do those kinds of things that I didn't get to do anymore when I was working nonstop, running my own business. And I have to say, no matter what, you got to be happy in your job, and I'm definitely happy in my job. I'm loving doing it. I'm loving the YouTube stuff, and I hope we can carry on with this. But we're going to continue fishing, and if we catch anything else, we will show it to you. If not, we'll check back in as we leave. I missed one. I just missed a stud fish. Oh, dang it. Just totally nailed it, and I just let it go. Oh, I just didn't set the hook in time. Golly. These fish are so difficult to catch. Golly, that sucks. Anyway, we're gonna find another hole. Told y'all we were gonna be going home. No, not when the fish are biting or not. They're finally biting. All right, Brandon's gonna laugh at me because he's gonna see me doing this. But he said something about IHOP, so we decided that we were gonna eat IHOP for dinner and then make the journey back home. So we are down off the mountain, everything's packed up, we're gonna eat some IHOP, and we're gonna head home. So I guess that's the end of this one. Thanks for watching. If y'all like what you saw, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.